Hey everyone, my name is Matt. Welcome to my shop. Today is December, not December, it's January 11th. And this is my weekly shop update. This is a pretty big update in the sense of milestones. This is my 104th shop update, which means I have done, or after I do this shop update, I will have done a solid 2 years of shop updates. Every week, haven't missed a week. I don't think I've ever done anything consistently every week for 2 years. That's just crazy. So let's get into it with the viewer projects. This first project is from Gary. This is a Tiger Intarsia. It is made from walnut, pine, and oak, and it measures 20 centimeters by 15 centimeters. I love this thing. It's not very big, and you can see it's very detailed. So I thought that was really cool because it's like the tiny little pieces. How do you get them all sized and shaped and fit to the whole project? Because they're like this big. This next project is from Ethan. This is a side table. This is what he called his first real project. It is made from stained poplar, and the handle is hand carved. And check out those dovetails. Look at those. Awesome work on the dovetails, Ethan. That's pretty awesome for your first project. I'll also add that Ethan is 15 years old, which is just cool. I don't know if I was doing that kind of stuff when I was 15, I don't know where I'd be now. Great job, Ethan. Keep up the great work. I'll have a link to his Instagram page in the description. Really cool to follow his journey as he gets into this stuff. This next project is also from a younger woodworker. This is from Wesley. It is a side table, and it's made from camphor laurel, which is a species down in Australia where he lives. He is 17, and what I love about this table is the grain on the whole piece. When you look at the pictures of it, nothing looks square or at right angles, or just everything looks all curvy and wavy and not square. And it's really cool. Love the mind tricks on this one. And of course, check out those dovetails. I'm a sucker for dovetails. I can't help it. This last project is from Guy. This is a dining table. And if you aren't following Guy's YouTube channel, he did a whole build series on making this table. Fantastic job on this thing. I love following along with this table build because there's just so much uniqueness that I haven't done before or seen done to that level of explanation. So the legs, they're not square to the tabletop or perpendicular to the tabletop or whatever. They're not at the usual orientation. They are rotated 45 degrees relative to the tabletop. So the stretchers come in at an angle to the legs or to the faces of the legs, which is really cool. And probably the most interesting part of the whole build was the extension mechanism. This is a butterfly extension mechanism, which I have seen before, but I've never seen anyone build it or install it before. So that was a really cool thing to see. And of course, there's a really nice perimeter inlay around the entire tabletop. So check out Guy's channel. Guy's a really great guy. We go way back. Guy was my first subscriber here on my YouTube channel. It only took, what, 5 weeks, 6 weeks for him to find me. So how about me in the shop this week? Well, I got the whole sofa table project pre-finished, which is really cool. I love this project because it lends itself so well to pre-finishing. You can get the finish applied to all the components when they're all nice and flat and not connected to anything really easily. So I just masked off the joinery, went to town with the armor seal. So this thing, I put the last coat of finish on a couple hours ago. Still a little tacky, but it should be dry in a little bit. So tomorrow I will be gluing up this table and getting started on the drawer. To give you a little preview on the drawer stock, I am thinking of using this guy here, or this top half. The drawer opening is only 4 inches or 4 and change, so this section here. I think that might be a pretty cool look for the drawer. So that's where I'm leaning right now. Not sure which side. but it did have this big split and void action going on here. So I did fill it with epoxy already, and I don't know, just kind of liking that look. So this is going to be extremely annoying when it comes to dovetailing these sides in. I've done this before, and it's really slow because that grain is going all over the place. So I did have a great question on the sofa table, specifically in relation to these dividers. On Instagram, Brian McCulley asked me why I use the tenons on that thing instead of using just a stopped dado. So here's that joint that Brian was asking about. You can see I have this really kind of bizarre looking tenon arrangement here. and matching mortise here as well. So I have the stub tenon, and then I have a full tenon, and that's kind of broken up into multiple tenons here as well. So the reason why I did this is for increased glue surface, and more specifically long grain to long grain glue surface. There's going to be a lot of glue surface here regardless, but I want the long grain. And in this case, the orientation, this is going into the piece. The areas that are long grain to long grain are going to be these inside faces of the tenons. So if this were just a single long tenon, or maybe put it in like a dado or something, the only areas that are long grain on a stop dado would be the start and stop point. So I would only have, you know, this much long grain surface for glue if I did a stop dado. Now this might seem a little bizarre, but keep in mind the orientation of these pieces. This is no different than the orientation of two boards coming together at their ends. So if I were to join these two boards like this, which is a pretty typical thing in woodworking to join two boards on the end like this, you wouldn't be asking me why I was doing, you know, box joins or dovetails on the end of something like this, because most woodworkers will tell you that you don't just take a board like this and just glue it like that. So I hope that helps understand the reasoning behind the joinery. Would a stop dado be enough for this? I don't know. Probably, maybe, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen to this table, but I want it to last as long as possible, so I'm going to give it every chance it can to last forever. So that's why I split it up into multiple tenons. Lots more long grain glue surface. So if you missed the announcement last week, I am now a co-host on the Wood Talk podcast. So we're doing that every week, or they've been doing it every week, and now I'm doing it every week with them. So that goes out on, I think, Tuesday mornings is the publishing date. So if you don't already listen to that, good thing to listen to on your commute or, you know, wherever. It's fun. And the last little bit of content to let you know about. Last week, Matthew Morris and I released a new episode of the Matt and Matthew Show. This was the second part of the Jeff Miller interview. It was supposed to be a full shop tour, but when we shipped the camera out to Jeff, I guess he didn't hit the record button for the actual shop tour when he was showing us around. So we don't have any footage of the shop tour, but the video that we posted was a tour of his showroom, which is attached to his shop, and then the subsequent discussion afterwards. As always, links to everything I talked about will be in the description below. So thank you as always for watching. I greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments about anything I talked about today, anything here on the channel, anything here in my shop, please feel free to leave me a comment. As always, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. And until next time, happy woodworking.